noble about all of that after this match is finished here on this programme tonight. This match being England against the Exiles. The Exiles leading by 6 points at half-time. They kick off, Smith underneath it. Here comes Scott Taylor, and surely Steve McNamara will have tried to put a little bit of fire into the England belly, Steve-O.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the first hit and then get penalised. At least it'll get this crowd going. Very, very little atmosphere here.
Well, let's just hope it's not an Exiles that gives that penalty away, if that's your theory, Steve-O. Bit of aggression, a bit of fire, a bit of force.
That's Jamie Jones-Buchanan playing the ball to his Leeds teammate Rob Burrow. Hull Kingston Rovers Scott Taylor. Full value in him receiving his England call-up after a great season for the young man this year up there in East Yorkshire. He's done really well, has young Scott. Revelation for Rovers this year. There he is, in great form for Craig Sandercock's men as they continue their assault on the top eight. Out of it just now. This, meanwhile, is Millard.
Be interesting to see how Steve McNamara has adjusted his defensive line. Remember, the Exiles just completely ripped them apart on that left-hand defence. They're going down there again. He knows that it had to improve. Steve McNamara, the coach.
Soliola for the Exiles. Getting the ball away, and it flicks off the ground and finds Holdsworth. Here is Menzies, he's cutting through them again down that side. Good ball inside to Joel Moon, who loses it. Good tackle this time from Briscoe. We've been critical of that England defence down that side. Let's give credit to Briscoe for that.
Yeah, certainly got back in time, but Steve Menzies took the wrong option. Made the break. He's been dancing through the tulips, hasn't he? Talk about somebody playing in a dinner suit. No one's certainly spoiling or even adjusting the bow tie.
That's a big hit. The first real collision of this match that we've seen on Roby by Lulawai, and the big fellow. Here come England with Briscoe down that left side, but he stops and he's tackled. This is Burrow here, trying to jink his way through the line.
I think Ryan Atkins has an injury and back plays, just limping back into the line.
Roby. Down he goes on tackle number 4. Burrow to Taylor, and it goes short to Lee Mossop. They're underneath the sticks, are England, on this, the last tackle. Burrow gives it to Jamie Jones-Buchanan. That's good, scrambling Exiles defence.
Well, they went for the power play, and I suppose when you think about it, the Exiles will be playing the ball 10 metres or 5 metres anyway, away from their own try line. But maybe they should have opted for a little bit of a kick into the in-goal area. It's one thing that would be concerning Steve McNamara in that first half. Kicking game, long and short, wasn't all that good.
Well, there's a couple of good tackles there, but that's what I want to see from England. I want to see the running game. I want the half-backs to take them on. I want Rob Burrow to challenge them up the middle of the park, but defensively, they've got to make sure they defend on the toes, because at the minute, they seem to be defending on the heels. They've got to get up and make the Exiles play early.
It's interesting to note that Matty Smith is taking, even though it's a standoff, he's virtually been taking the first receiver. Danny Brough is playing out wide off him. Maybe a switch in tactics to change that around might help.
Well, there were 3 men waiting for the pass out wide there that just didn't come, and that was a scramble play, the ball. And the kick from Millard will go straight up in the air and straight down the throat of Stefan Ratchford. And Ratchford tries to get England going again, over halfway.
Sorry, Ed, I think that was a good defensive set for England. They had a couple of cracks on their left edge, and England stood up to the test. They kicked the ball, and it was a bit of a scramble when that kick was going in. Stefan Ratchford catches it on the 40, and they're already into their opponent's 40-metre zone.
Oh, but the ball is knocked forward. And the first came from England skipper John Wilkin, and it's going to be a scrum down and head and feet to the Exiles.
Big hit from Kafusi. Came in, and you can see there it's possession. You have to respect it. See the perspiration down the face of the skipper John Wilkin.
There's a trophy to be won tonight. If England win, they'll collect it. The Exiles win the series this year. If it's drawn, the Exiles retain the trophy. A draw for England, and they will take the trophy here tonight. But if the Exiles win, this series this year's drawn, and the Exiles being the holders of the cup, they will take it home, and that's what they're doing at the moment. They are leading this match to draw the 2012 series. Good run from Hodgson again, clawed to the ground by his Warrington teammate Atkins. That's what it's about, this match. It's teammate against teammate. We'll all be pals, of course, again in the morning, but for 80 minutes, it should be the best of enemies.
Well, they got that in the end, but that was poor defence. They're not moving over as a unit. They're just hanging back and trying to see what's going to come to them. There's a kick from Duro.
Too long, and it's easy that for Briscoe. Referee blew the whistle almost before Briscoe collected that in the in-goal area. Tap on the 20. Here comes Ratchford.
Well, there's one guy in red that really has caused a few problems for the Exiles' defence. He's settling well, hasn't he, Stephen Ratchford?
Yes, he has. He's scored a couple of tries and 4 goals against Ireland for the England Knights at St Helens. He's only made 12 appearances, you know, for Warrington this year, so he's fairly fresh. Tony Smith doing a good job with his troops this year, being judicious with them. Big things to come, of course. That's a knock-on. A knock-on by Liam Farrell, who is 22 on Monday. This is his debut. Monday week, next Monday that is.
I have no doubt in my mind that England can score points if they build some pressure, but they are just not doing that. They're not building enough pressure. They're not finishing the sets off well. The kicking game in the first half, the ball was running dead, and sometimes that's a good play if you're kicking from right near your own line to just get the ball away as far upfield as you can. But I'm sure that Steve McNamara will be saying, look lads, we've got to finish these sets off better. We've got to make sure that we build pressure. If we build pressure, we'll score some tries.
Lincoln Withers with the dart from dummy half. He was asking the referee for the first penalty of the match because he didn't believe that Wilkin was standing square. He asks him again. He said, you moved to the side. It wasn't Wilkin not standing square. You were the one who moved. Willie Mano hops his way to the ground under pressure. Wants to play it to Withers and does. Hodgson is there in the attack as well. So too was Antonio Kerfusi. Takes the tackle though. Tackle number 4. They're 18 metres away from the line. It's with Duro again. Now it's Hodgson. Wide they go to Melly. Job here for Charnley. Oh, now then, this is a decision for video referee Steve Ganson. The ball bounced ferociously when it was touched down, if it was touched down. And of course, there's also the possibility that there was a foot in touch. The corner post these days does not count.
Well, he feels pretty confident, doesn't he, the big fella Francis Melly? You can see the fullback linked on the arc.
Is there an obstruction? No, sorry.
That's what they're looking at.
Oh, everything's fine there.
I think Brough made the decision to go for the man who's running, but he's happy with that.
You're right, Ed.
And they're having a look here at the touchdown, and I don't think there's anything wrong with this.
It's going to be close. It's going to be close. It's going to be a try.
His legs are up on the top of Charnley, aren't they, Melly?
Yeah. Nowhere near the whitewash. Keep looking. They're up, they're up, they're up, and that's try time.
The fact that Charnley is in touch, that doesn't make him in touch with his feet on him. Definitely not. No.
This should be try.
And is. There we go. Francis Melly with the try on this near side. They've been doing such good work down their right-hand channel all night that Melly has been a little bit of a spectator on this near side, but he isn't anymore.
Beautiful play by Brett Hodgson. You can see they just sucked in that defence sufficient to allow the big unit, Francis Melly, when he gets on the charge, see quite clear that Rob Barrow had to be sucked in. What a great finish under pressure. Charnley did everything possible apart from stop the big man. Bang! Great finish. That's what they pay them for.
Yeah, the feet have to be on the whitewash, not on the player who's lying across the whitewash, so no doubts that that was spot on by Steve Ganson. And Francis Melly, who scored a try last year in this fixture at Leeds, and well, he has come up trumps again. He knows where the try line is, doesn't he, Francis? Signed for the Saints in 2006, 189 appearances since, 121 tries for the Saints. What a signing. And now Brett Hodgson. knows the angles here, knows the way the wind blows at this ground, because of course he's an ex-Huddersfield giant. Now with the Warrington Wolves, can he post the extras? No, he can't. But scoreline isn't pretty from an England point of view. The Exiles lead 20-10.
Well, Eddie is a quality player, Brett Hodgson. See Rangi Chase, he's looking on at this game. He played in the first game at Langtree Park, but misses out on this one. Now Brett Hodgson played for New South Wales, absolutely quality. He straightens up that play, sucks Rob Brodo in, and he creates a 2-on-1. But his pass is that good, he can pick Francis Melly up. He doesn't have to change his running style, and he gets over, and that was a very good finish. You've got to give him credit for that, haven't we?
That was a great kick-off as well from England. The ball had so much hang time. The chasers were on the man with the ball in hand in a flash. That ball has come out. What's happened here? It went backwards. Touch judge and referee
Play on.
in collaboration. They say play on.
Tried to offload, went backwards, not forwards.
Through the legs of Burrow, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Here they go down that right channel of theirs again. Moon. Good tackling by Matty Smith. Monaghan. Infield it comes to Duro, then to Hodgson. Now Kylie Lulawai will drive it forward, and he says that ball was stolen from him. The referee will have none of it. It's head and feed to England. It was a double knock-on in the view of Ben Thaler.
Lulawai, rueful look at the official.
No, it is a loose carry. He's got that spot on.
Just the impact of Mossop and the big fella Crabtree. But it's worrying me is the ease of which they are getting over the advantage line. But I'm so surprised at the England defence. Some are moving up, others are hanging back. There's no coordination. They don't seem to be talking to each other.
That's the difference in club systems, and perhaps when Steve McNamara has a bit more time with these players, he can create that continuity. But mistakes sometimes breed anxiety, and anxiety is going to perpetuate if you're not careful.
Josh Charnley has been taken from the field. Leroy Cudjoe now playing on the wing for England. I'm sure that Sean Wayne will be interested in any news we can find out about Josh Charnley, having lost Thomas Lulawai in the first game with a broken leg. But Charnley on the bench there. Maybe it's just a tactical switch by the England coach. Sean Wayne will be hoping so.
Well, let's hope so, Eddie. But just in front of him, the 18th man today was Jody Broughton, who's been in sensational form for Salford.
Crabtree with a marauding run underneath the post. England on the last tackle here. Burrow will fire the pass. A little dink through by Danny Brough, and the ball ricocheted kindly for the Exiles, and Antonio Kafusi was the man who dropped on it.
Well, the idea was good, but yet again, we've seen it so often, haven't we, when England have been approaching anywhere near the opposition try line, that they've had to revert to the kick.
Ready, boys, wait. Go.
Neat duck out of trouble there from Joel Moon.
Go.
Plays the ball to Lincoln Withers. Big deep kick from Daniel Holsworth, looking for a 40-20. Didn't quite get the angle right. Ratchford read it perfectly. Draws applause from this crowd at Huddersfield, and Ratchford will run it back.
And that's a good return, Eddie. He's been good tonight for England.
He's been the pick of the English, there's no doubt about that.
Certainly has, and it was a good tackle by Daniel Holsworth as well, because he's been a big start on the Exile side.
Ratchford just gingerly holding the leg by the looks of things. And the trainer on very quickly to check on the Warrington Wolves fullback. Here's Matty Smith, finds Danny Brough. He pops the ball up there to the substitute Liam Farrell. I think I've actually made him 22 in a week on Monday. He was 22 last Monday, just gone, at Liam Farrell 2 days ago. Second row in the Knights team at St Helens. Ball on the ground again from England. It's scrappy. Josh Charnley off the field. What's the news, Bill?
Charnley being treated for what looks like a calf problem on the sidelines at the moment. Of course, after what happened to Thomas Lulawai in the first of these games, nobody is willing to take any risks with any of these high-profile players. And Charnley, in the try-scoring form he's in, Wigan certainly don't want to lose a player of his calibre. So Charnley taken straight off the field. Ratchford went down with a bang a moment ago, but he's okay to carry on for England at the moment.
Well, if anyone is sitting near Sean Wayne in Wigan right now, just keep out of the way for 5 minutes, because he will not be impressed. That's a good, solid run and almost a perfect offload from Willie Manor. Oh, first penalty. It was a man tackled without the ball. First penalty of the match, 53 minutes and 40 seconds.
But what there's some worrying signs for Steve McNamara, because some of the England defenders are pushing hard, they're working from the inside. But then when some other players are thinking that because the ball's gone away from them, they don't have to move. As soon as they do that, as soon as they switch off, that's where the gap is, and that is where the Exiles seem to be targeting him now. They're taking the ball away from the big men and then dropping it off and bringing it back.
Full marks to the Exiles. They're not interested in the 2 points on offer. Not really any point when it's 2010. But it would have given everybody a breather as the ball is driven in here by Lafranchi. Look where they are now, close to that England try line. It's Durow. They go wide to Hodgson, further wide to Holdsworth, and Holdsworth has slipped the net, and he gets over the line. Does he? No, he's just short. And Hodgson waits at dummy half, throws the dummy, scores a great try. The Exiles skipper, second try of the match for Brett Hodgson. They spurn the opportunity of 2 points. Sean McRae, Daniel Anderson, they are delighted with that. He's all classes, Brett Hodgson. Second try of this Origin Series 2012, second try tonight. And Hodgson just might have nudged the Exiles towards that trophy. Can England come back from this?
Well, the first penalty of this game. It was being tackled off the ball by Wilkin there. Frankie. And then superb play. Holdsworth went very, very close indeed. And this is where you've got to mark up. You've got to be alert. And they weren't. Oh, that is poor defence.
So Brett Hodgson, the Warrington Wolves full-back, playing himself nicely back into form for Tony Smith's Warrington. He's not played more than 4 games in a row for them this year. And, well, that's a second try of the night for him, and this conversion will just push the Exiles even further ahead and make England's job all the more difficult, because Hodgson doesn't miss those from that range. England 10, the Exiles 26.
Well, it is a real kick in the stomach for the English side. I'm going to give you a technical reason. Not an excuse, a technical reason. Stefan Ratchford, as fullback, needs to follow the ball. He needs to get behind the ball. Unfortunately for Stefan Ratchford, the ball isn't passed. He buys the dummy, and there's the gaping hole.
But he still can't defend behind the line there. He's got to be up in the line. If he can't find himself as the ball goes out.
Yes, Giroud made a meal of that.
Yep.
Another great kick-off from Ratchford. High and long and hanging. And also for Danny Brough it was, beg your pardon. Look at this, left-footed. How high is that? How deep is that? And Giroud, he just had a few doubts in his mind.
Yeah, it was poor. Technique, not the best. Got to raise your arms and embrace the ball to you. Did neither of those two. Well, remember, Steve McNamara made it quite clear. He said he wanted to find out whether these youngsters that he could put out there could handle the high quality at international level. Well, I'm afraid there's not many questions and not many answers at the moment.
Brough gets the ball away. This is a chance here for Ablett. Quickly halted by Willie Manu. Here's Ratchford. Now Danny Brough, whose kick-off put them into this position. Good little run from Carvel. Takes 4 to bring him down. England inching towards that Exiles line. Can they respond immediately? Brough gives it width. Cut down in the tackle, though, was Matty Smith. A flying tackle by Joel Moon. Here's the last one for England. Brough goes wide, and Briscoe will score in the corner. He's being asked, though, Ben Thaler, by Robert Hicks, the touch judge over there, just to check for a foot in touch by Briscoe. Element of doubt about this try, and Steve Ganson with work to do again, tonight's video referee.
Well, for once, the quick hands was sufficient. I think he gets it down. His foot's up there, is in airborne, and that is TR Whitehead. And he'll be very pleased with that, with Tom Briscoe. Had a bit of a nightmare in defence in that first 40 minutes, but that will lift his spirits.
Yes, Briscoe gets the try. That match at St Helens was the first game he's missed in an international playing sequence of over 2 years. He's scored 11 tries for Hull this year, and he's given England hope here tonight, but it all came about as a result of the fumble by Giroud.
Beautiful pass, wasn't it? And Danny Brough will be pleased with that as well. I've been saying throughout this game that a bit of confusion between the two halfbacks. Matty Smith has been first receiver, Danny Brough out wide, and that is the first real time that this guy who was about to attempt the conversion has felt comfortable.
Pushes it in front of the post, though. Doesn't make the England points total up to 16. Keeps it at 14. 14-26. It's 2 converted tries.
And I'm going to go back to the start of that set of 6, when Gareth Carvell come up with a very big charge, and then Earl Crabtree. And just look at that pass. Well, it's Joel Monaghan. He loses sight of Tom Briscoe, and that was a good finish from the youngster to get that ball down. And what is the 12 points in it? Can they win this game? I'm still sure they can.
England have hit back within a minute to give them hope. They need 2 more, and they need to convert 2 more to get the draw. Carvell drives it in. Burrow waits at dummy half. Here's the latest England try scorer, taking on Lincoln Withers. It's a good run from Briscoe, that.
Yeah, and a lot more urgency is needed now. They got their tails up and start asking those questions, and
Burrow
maybe
will
come
try
up with the
and
answers.
provide that urgency, Steve-O.
I'm just saying, and maybe they can come up with a few answers.
Kicking early in the tackle count was Matty Smith. Straight down the middle of the field, though, and picked up easily by Hodgson. So there's a little hop, skip and a jump in front of the England on-rushing defenders, Wilkin and Carvell.
Well, that's a good kick and a good chase. I was just watching Steve McNamara's body language, the way he rotated his hands there. I think he's asking his side to get into that arm wrestle that coaches talk about. Let's go kick for a while. Take some energy out of the Exiles. Played a bit of mistake-free rugby league and see what we can come up with.
It must be very frustrating for a man who's been head coach of a Super League team, and the grind of week in, week out, to just have to bide your time, bite your lip, and make your plans for 2, maybe 3, 4 games a year.
And then when you get to the game, you've got to make sure you perform.
Holdsworth gets the pass wide to Melly. The Exiles respond immediately, and Melly will bring it back even closer to the sticks. Restores the Exiles' advantage. Francis Melly, second try of this second half. It was Melly at the start of the second half. It was Hodgson. It was Briscoe a couple of minutes ago, and it's Melly with a perfect response for the Exiles. They're back in the driving seat.
Daniel Holdsworth has had a beautiful game. He has controlled things. He's played with confidence. He's had the forwards to give them the opportunity, but the dummy there was taken with ease. Well, he certainly has shown the way to the line as Francis Melly, but Daniel Holdsworth is the key. He's been the start of the show for me.
A little hint there of perhaps the man of the match, because it's picked by Steve-O tonight. Holdsworth has certainly caught his eye. So Brett Hodgson to try and add the extras again. He's had 3 successful kicks from 5, and this is definitely within his range. This should provide minimal problems for Hodgson, and that's exactly what it does. So an England revival is quickly snuffed out by Melly and Hodgson. The Exiles are ahead 32 points to 14. Melly just stretching the muscles.
10 metres. And
Eddie, you can look at this and you can look to criticise certain players and maybe try and blame the youngsters that have come in, but it's not about the youngsters as well. James Roby was at fault on that occasion. He faces in, he loses his hips, he loses sight of his opposite, and it's some of the best players in Super League, do you know, that are coming up with silly mistakes. And just like we see there, now it seems to be the Exiles' turn yet again. They scored a try, and then the first player, they lose the ball, goes into touch.
Yes, they're giving England the green light to come back at them again, aren't they, here?
Well, you can just see that's their attitude. We're going to go out and we're just going to throw the ball around. We're going to play. The pressure is not on us, and they've played like that for the last 62 minutes.
Yes, 18 minutes. There's plenty of time for England to get back into this. Wilkin, no way through for him. England skipper gets to his feet and plays it to Burrow. Now it's with Brough, and he gets it away to the substitute Liam Farrell. Referee calls on the Exiles to move, which they do, and Burrow waits again at dummy half. Oh, and that was well, a pass that Brough wasn't expecting for some reason.
Well, he was expecting it, Eddie, because Steve McNamara has made that switch that I'm talking about. Remember, throughout this game, they've had Matty Smith taking first receiver, Brough out.
I think that pass, Brough thought that pass was for Roby.
Well,
I know what you're saying.
I'm not going to argue. The thing is...
Sorry, Steve.
I'm trying to defend Danny Brough here.
Yeah, I think we're all trying to find a reason for some of the best players. In fact, a lot of the best players, and they perform week in, week out for their clubs. It gets to the occasion when they wear an England shirt, and there's just not quite the understanding and the knowingness that there is playing in the week in, week out sides in Super League.
Well, and that also is understandable, but when you see the understanding that the Exiles have developed in an even shorter space of time without get-togethers.
That's it, isn't it? I'm sure if you look for excuses, you can try and find him in everything you do. You've got to be man enough to hold your hand up and say, look, we've just not played well enough here. We've not controlled the ball. We've not got to any decent field position. We've not kicked. And the Exiles have been the better side.
Yeah, they've
what an offload that was from Luwaki.
And they've completely outplayed their opposition, and they've looked a little bit confused in defence. They've shown a few little touches with the football, but that defence has been very, very poor throughout this game. Oh, what a hit! That's what we needed.
Lincoln Withers.
Not 64 minutes into the game. We needed it 64 seconds into the game.
And then Danny Brough runs right at him. LaFranchi goes round the top. What about this? A good shot. And the Exiles have got the energy. They've got the bit between the teeth.
Well, the only thing the Exiles are playing for is pride, and they want to really dent England here.
And they want to keep the trophy.
Yes, they do.
It's bragging rights, Eddie. That's what it is. It's bragging rights in the changing room.
Well, Gareth Carvell has just surrendered possession back to the Exiles here. England looked as though they might be building something from that penalty.
Well, at least Gareth Carvell was trying to offload, trying to get something away, and it just, well, there's no support.
You're trying to defend Carvell now, are you? Because he's a forward, yeah?
Well, no, he's turning and looking. There should have been somebody there. The England attack there looked as though they say, oh, go to ground, and I'll go to dummy half and start again. You've got to have support. We've seen that from the Exiles tonight. The support play has been outstanding.
It has, and here's Sia Soliola. Goes down on tackle number 4, just outside the 20-metre zone. That Giroud will now take them into. Gets the pass back to Hodgson. Hodgson's short ball, and Millard is brought down by a good tackle from Burrow low down, helped out by Danny Brough. Last one here for the Exiles. England fly off the line. Giroud with a nice little dink over the top. Well claimed, though, by Matty Smith, who is bundled over the try line by his opposite number, Daniel Holdsworth. It's a goal line dropout here. A repeat set of 6 for the Exiles.
Good kick, Scott Giroud. And when you're leading 32-14, you know you can opt for the kick just to apply the pressure. And that's another thing that this England side have to understand, is that they've got to start applying that pressure to make the mistakes. But I'm afraid the Exiles are just far too good.
Francis Melli, who's on a hat-trick here tonight, will play the ball here to Willie Manu. Willie Manu, of course, once upon a time could easily have been in an England shirt. He was close to getting an England cap in 2010. Drafted into a get-together involving 34 players, and then in the end they decided not to play him. Here he is again. Gets the ball away to Hodgson. Good tackle by Cudjoe. A grimace there from Brett Hodgson. Gets to his feet. Lincoln Withers finds Scott Giroux. Kafusi to Holsworth on the charge, but Ratchford picks up the pieces, and it was a fumble this by Soliola.
Yeah,
Here goes Roby now.
Just couldn't keep up with it. You know, to lift the spirits and to give some positive feeling amongst this England outfit is that, you know, maybe he can go score 2 tries, quick tries. That's going to be a penalty. He's allowed to play on anyway.
Ryan Noble might be right. Ben Thaler's been told to keep the whistle in his pocket maybe tonight. Give us an entertaining game. Well, we've had that, to be fair. It has been entertaining, but it's been so frustrating from an England point of view. Jamie Jones-Buchanan now.
For movement! Dan, think of the leg. Go.
Burrow. Smith finds Brough, who in turn finds Ratchford, who gets it away to Carl Ablett.
5. Release! Carl, let him off. Go.
Last tackle here for England. Off the boot of Brough, it goes high into the Huddersfield sky.
Okay.
Oh, it was so easy.
That's one.
So easy for Menzies. No one putting pressure on him at all. It was like it was just coming into a supermarket trolley, that.
Yep, breadbasket time. Thank you.
Play ball. Go.
There were England players round him.
No, you played it.
Well, that's a
forward.
forward pass, Eddie.
It's a fiddle to play the ball, I'm afraid.
It's an incorrect play of the ball. The ball goes forward from Monaghan. So here we
Give
go.
Monaghan some credit, he actually touches it with the foot.
Yeah,
Well,
and that's why he makes the mistake.
there was
Well, surely
that wobble didn't go forward, did it?
Right, well, here we go. 12 minutes to go. 12 metres from the line.
But look at this. Look, 1, 2, 3, 4 red jerseys.
Jamie Jones-Buchanan was actually stood in front of the kicker when that ball was kicked, so
So it
it should have been a
offside
penalty
then.
anyway. It should have been
Yeah.
a penalty, but it's not. And that's why I don't think he originally challenged for the ball.
Well, he shouldn't have challenged for it when it reached him then either.
And you can hear the talk with the Exiles players here. Hold him up, don't let him get down to play the ball. Let's set our defensive line.
Look at Brough. That was just a reaction to the fact that no one had challenged for that kick. That's a good flag pass. That's a good hit, though. I think the captain thought he was on his way to the try line then, but Holsworth, who's been all over the shop tonight, he had other ideas. Ratchford goes down on that tackle.
Line. Go.
Burrow. Smith, short ball, Crabtree. Home crowd would love a try from the big fella, but not on this occasion. Here's the last for England, camped underneath the Exiles posts as they are. Brough back on the inside.
good defence.
Excellent defence.
Yeah,
excellent
good work.
defence on Carvel.
Yeah, and Lincoln Withers made sure that he couldn't offload the ball. He's played his part. As Withers, he's had a fine game too.
Now England must try and keep the Exiles down this end of the field.
Yeah, conversion and transition. That's what Stephen McNamara will be wanting from his side now. We put some pressure on them. Now let's get up, get in their faces and make them throw the ball.
Well, they did that there. It was almost a mistake, but Holsworth saw to it that it wasn't. Here goes Menzies again. Crabtree gets to him. Entering the last 10 minutes of this match. International Origin Game 2. At the moment, the Exiles will be going home with the trophy in this drawn series. They're the holders. They will retain it for another 12 months. Heath Lestrange.
And they fully deserved it as well. There's been outstanding at times.
Holdsworth again on the last tackle, has to kick, hurried kick, but still good enough. That will run dead in goal, so England will begin from the 20-metre line.
Wait there, boys, wait!
We'll have to wait for all the England players to get back on side, which they are now. So here comes Leroy Cudjoe again. A stuttering run takes England about 8 metres forward.
Come on, hold it here, wait. Go.
Well, will we see some spark in there? Just under 10 minutes remaining of this game.
Wait here, boys. Go.
Boy, England certainly need it.
Be interesting to see what spin Steve McNamara puts on this
Heath, keep
in
coming.
9 minutes' time.
Well, he can't say anything other, Eddie, than we've been beaten by a better side.
Well, he can say, I've given some younger players an experience, maybe not at the highest level, maybe not as intense as we would like it, but he's given players like Josh Charnley, like Stephen Rashford, Matty Smith, Danny Brook, he's given them a crack and a chance at international level.
Yeah, he has, but you can't blame the young players. You can't come out and say
Not
that.
blaming anybody,
You can't come out and say that, well, the young players and we've given an opportunity. Yeah, we have, but some of these players have played well in Super League. You've got to give them credit for that.
Not blaming anybody.
And when you get into the international shirt, you've got to play like that in club rugby.
And they have played in it. You asked me, or the question was asked, what will he talk about? I think he might reference the young players having experience at this level.
I think Barry and Terry have just auditioned for a spot on Super League back chat with Rod and Steve.
This is us. This is our life. This is what we do.
And he's the woman.
He thinks one way, and I think completely the other.
Super League back chat. It was on yesterday. It's on next Tuesday, 10 o'clock. Sky Sports 3 HD again. Nice chip over the top. Again, England will be asked to just begin from their own 20-metre line.
You could see the backspin as well by Brett Hodgson there. Didn't quite get it. But as you see, 32-14, they'd be quite happy to just let England tap on that 20. They get that line on the 30.
Well, the Exiles are going to win this match, aren't they now?
They certainly are, and they fully deserve it as well, because they've been by far more constructive. And what a hit from Luwaki.
Luwaki on Rob Burrow. They have been the more aggressive, the Exiles.
Yeah, of course they have.
Well, this is the latest round in a confrontation. Rob Burrow and Luwaki have been going at it for years. I remember that fight. Rob Burrow putting one on the chin of Luwaki.
Well, he tried to, but Luwaki just held him off, and he had a few swings.
And he couldn't reach that far.
No, he couldn't. He tried. He tried his best. That's a nice little ding through. One for Cudjoe to chase, but the ball beats everybody.
Nice idea, just a touch too strong.
Oh, problem here for Hodgson is that he slipped on the tarmac around the pitch here. Slipped rather nastily, gets up gingerly from that.
Nice option, though. Nice option, just at the back of the line.
Just watch here. Whoops, banged into the advertising hoardings. Hart's missing a beat in Warrington.
Don't leave his knee in. Okay? Don't leave your knee in. Don't leave your knee in. Okay. All right. Think about it.
Well, Daniel Anderson will enjoy this. The Exiles coach, who has international experience, of course, in charge of New Zealand for a couple of years. 2 wins and a draw from 9 matches at international level. A modest return for that man, but at club level, he took New Zealand Warriors to their first ever NRL Grand Final 2002, and he won every trophy on offer in Super League in 2006 with St Helens, the first team to win all 3 trophies following the repositioning of the Challenge Cup final to the month of August, which puts pressure on all of the players to try and achieve the Cup and League double these days. But Daniel Anderson rewrote the history books that year.
You made the point, Eddie, in regards to Steve McNamara, the England coach. You know, interesting to what spin-in he will have after the game. Quite honestly, I don't think he can pick anything out that's been ultra positive.
No, 32-14 tells its own story, doesn't it?
That ball hasn't bounced from Stephen Ratchford there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that new rule.
Oh,
it's a good call from Ben Taylor, this.
Well, I think it's come from his touch judge here, James Child.
this is a horrible rule, this.
I think it's a nonsense.
It's a horrible rule.
It's stupid.
It's in there, though.
See, that's just because Stephen Ratchford
and we're playing, sorry, Terry, we're playing on Super League rules tonight, off the Super League rule book, not the international rule book, not the NRL's rule book.
Nope.
So there's at least 3, we're playing Super League.
But what's in your mind? You're getting beat on the scoreboard. You want to get the ball back in your hand as soon as possible, get it back to the middle of the park, tap it on the 20 and just go. You can't be afforded to wait in a couple of seconds for the ball to bounce on the floor to go out and play and then you pick it up.
Well said.
Rant over there, Steve-O.
Well, but it's, you know, as you all said,
You have a point.
It's in the rule book and there's nothing anyone can do about it. But I just hope that at the end of this year, we can't do it mid-season, I just hope at the end of this year that they give that one in the bin.
Well, you look for changes that improve the game, don't you? And that one doesn't improve the game.
But why do we have to wait until the end of the season?
Well, because it's been played like that for 3/4 of it.
Yeah, well, just scrap it. Just say it's been... Look, it hasn't worked.
I know why they want to do it, because they want the attacking players to be able to bat it back into the field of play. That's why they want to encourage that side. We've seen lots of tries like that, but it's where it's when it's in that instance there with Stefan Ratchford that it looks a bit messy.
Problem here for Antonio Cafusi. London Broncos have got enough problems without losing this big fellow.
Yeah, twisted knee, I feel.
His face creases in agony.
Is it Carl Ablett? Carl Ablett actually lands on his calf. You never see Antonio Cafusi lying down. Just have a look here. He puts his weight, he's trying to pull him down. You can just see he lands on top of him, and the big man.
Well, let's hope he's okay.
Will want this.
Yeah, you can see the leg going underneath. Doesn't do your knee, your ankle, or ligaments any good whatsoever.
Well, he's being one of London's best, doesn't he? The try-scoring machine.
Yep. You certainly can't fault this fella for his effort down in the capital.
His only test appearance for Australia against Great Britain in Brisbane 2006 in the Tri-Nations, which the Aussies won by 33 points to 10. He has to play the ball though, or he's going to play the ball. He doesn't have to. He could have given it to one of his colleagues, but he's not going to be denied.
Back on. Okay.
Good movement from Heath Lestrange. Kick behind the defender from Hodgson. Ooh, that hits the corner post. That is out. So now England will start with the 20-metre tap, and here they go. And Cudjoe again, that little stuttering run as he reaches the defenders.
I think he's played well as well. Leroy Cudjoe's had to do a bit of moving and shifting, gone from centre to wing. I think he's looked for work, he's looked urgent. Sam Tompkins, Sean O'Loughlin.
Yeah, some of the big names out of this match tonight. They're all here, which is good, keeping the spirit going for England. Kevin Sinfield, Danny Tickle as well. Now then, Ablett gets it wide to Cudjoe. Has to stop. He knew that he was a bit close to the whitewash. Came inside, took the tackle.
Well, at least we had a little bit of a flowing movement there from the England camp. That's been a rarity.
Brough, and here comes Liam Farrell again. Last tackle though for England. They're still 20 metres away. Burrow, short ball, good run. Mossop gets it away. Ratchford out the back door, gets it away to Ablett. Gets a slap in the face. Over the top it goes to Cudjoe. Consolation try for England. They kept it alive then, England. Good hands under pressure, but a few slaps around the chops as well for their pains. But Leroy Cudjoe, on his first England appearance for 2 years on this his home ground, comes up with his first try for his country.
And fully deserved as well. Good offload by Ablett. And you could see that there was swinging arms, all sorts. The official just ignored it. They just scored. Get on with it. Yeah, good stuff. Ratchford involved, and then Cudjoe, who's worked hard, he's had to do more defence more than anything. Hasn't had many opportunities, but it comes its way. You take them.
One minor positive point for England. All four of their three quarters. Charnley before he went off. Cudjoe just, Atkins and Briscoe. They've all scored tries tonight. And Danny Brough a super kick. But 20 points to 32. It's an exiles victory.
Well, at least
James Lowes, he will be disappointed with the defeat, and so will Jimmy. It'll be very interesting to see what he says about this at the end of the game.
Well, at least we got some flowing rugby league football. Remember, it over on that left-hand side, and then they got the link, which is something they haven't done a great deal tonight.
Yeah, but the majority of the flowing football, Steve, has come from the opposition.
Yeah, I
it?
realise. All I'm saying is that was a good build-up. Very rare, but it was a good one.
It was 16-10 to the Exiles at half-time, and currently in the second half it's 16-10 to the Exiles, which gives us the cumulative total of 32-20. I mean, they've been by far the better side.
They have. Do you know what? Do you know what? Sometimes as a coach, you get criticised when you pick the same players, and then when you give youngsters a chance, you get criticised for not picking a team that can go on and win. But for me, genuinely, it's all about exposure of youngsters and players who haven't played international rugby to go into the camp alongside the likes of Kevin Sinfield and players like that. Although they haven't played in this game, they're still around the camp. They're still that calming influence that they might not get at the club level.
Here's a question for any one of the three of you to answer. Do you think this result would have been any the difference had Sam Tompkins, Ryan Hall, Kevin Sinfield et al. Played here tonight?
Yes, yes, it would. Yes, it would have been vastly different, because the game breaker that Sam Tompkins is, he'd have loved this open space, but we'll never know. We've give some exposure. There's another mistake there from an offload. We'll forgive that. The offload from the last try came from forcing a few players, but I think
they all played in the first game, and it wasn't terrible. I know that the weather was dreadful.
Yeah,
and I think that the defensive shape and structure of England in that game at Langtree Park was sound. Tonight it hasn't been, and there'll be plenty to work on. But Steve McNamara is building towards 2013 World Cup. My word, he'll have some stuff to tidy
up.
As
well, we've got Widdop, we've got Burgess, we've got Graham, who are all playing down under in the NRL. And I know that we keep saying it, and genuinely, it is about looking for some positives. You can't look at the negative. If you dwell on the negatives, I'm sure Steve McNamara and James Lowes won't do that. They'll have a look at it and they'll see where they went wrong, but they'll try and look at the positives.
I'll put the question to you two guys, in as much that out of the England 17, how many will be there for the World Cup? Well, it's in the big boys.
Well, we're not picking the team, are we? And form will have to be relevant in 2013.
On what you have seen tonight, that's all I'm asking, is that how many of these people in the England jersey will be able to make it into the World Cup squad?
Well, it's a question really that Steve McNamara has to answer and has to ponder and has to weigh up all his options between now and whenever. The Exiles have won. They will take home the trophy. 32-20.